First of all, I'd like to welcome you. I'll try my best to tell you what we do here. Starting with myself, I'm a senior software engineer. My name's Ahmed. I've graduated from Middlesex University in London. I've done computer science, specializing in software engineering. I have worked in many different countries, including UK, UAE, Ethiopia, and many more. Basically, some I've also worked for them remotely. I have been developing software for the last 20 years, basically. I set up a company called Loop Solutions, which takes contracts from businesses, individuals, government, departments, everything. And then we develop software for them. Since 2016, that's what I've been doing. Before I go into my history, what I need to tell you is, as a software developer, what do you expect this particular software engineering course? So here we're going to do a software engineering course, and it's going to be a 6 months course. You'll be learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Linux, and few more. Especially you'll be specializing as a React developer. It normally takes to become a software engineer, it'll take like more than 4 years. But to become a software engineer that specializes in one area, and the reason why you need to specialize in one area is because companies have teams, and software is not developed by just one person or two people or just one team. So normally when you're developing a software, example like WhatsApp application, it's a system, it's an ecosystem. Basically, it's not just one app. There's a lot of things behind it. There's a database, there's a back end, there's a different types of applications that it has for the front end only, like Android, iOS, desktop applications, web applications, so many of these things. And each of those softwares are very huge and massive, and there is a specialist team that deals with that. And this is why when you join a company, you don't join the whole company and you can just work one day here, there, back-end database here. You can't do that. You can only stay with one team, development team. And what we did was we thought maybe we should just educate a person to specialize in one area and then let them ignore. So for example, when you go to university, they try to teach you a little bit of everything. Little bit of back end, little bit of front end, little bit of mobile application, and mainly theory, not practical. So what we're trying to do here is we teach you like full, basically in one area, and you specialize in that area, and we give you the technical skills that you need to develop. When you become a software engineer, if you go through university, you get a degree, or maybe you get a master, or maybe if you even go further, you got PhD. But also you can teach yourself. A lot of the programmers that are there, they are self-taught, or maybe they went through something called bootcamp. Now, bootcamps are trainings that you do 9 to 5 for 3 months. And then when you come out, you become certified, or maybe you become a software engineer. You specialize in one area as well, the same thing. We're doing the same thing here. We're doing the same boot camps, but rather than concentrating everything into 3 months and taking your time from 9 to 5 full time, you do this in your own time. You come to the class once a week for 2 hours, and we expect you to do some homework 15 minutes a day for every day, basically for 6 months. There are students who graduated finished, like we designed it for 6 months, but they finished it in 3 months. And then they've done another 2 more months of work experience. Now, if I haven't mentioned the work experience before, we have 2 sister companies. One is a training provider. It's called Fasttrack Technology Academy. I have already put it has this website here, as you see. We teach kids coding classes as well as adult courses, basically. So you can go here, you can see the children's side, you can go to the gallery side as well. And it has also different sections. So there's a lot of kids there that you can see that are doing software development, robotics, and ethical hacking. We teach them everything. Some of these kids have been on, they've been with me for like 3 years, and some of them are developing apps. These kids are now helping me develop systems that we're developing for clients, and they're the age of 13, some of them 12, some of them 10 years old, as young as that. So that is the teach kids coding class, but we also do adult software development, okay, which you get trained by Fasttrack, FST Academy. Basically, you get trained by this company for 6 months, and after you graduate, you move on to our work experience program. Why do work experience is very important? I'll give you a personal experience. When I graduated from university in this country, if you graduate from university, and even if you have first class degree like me, you can't get a job straight away. The reason is because when companies take you as a junior developer, basically they train you, but like they don't expect you to contribute straight away. So you can't just, at university, what they teach you is theory. And what they do is they try to train you for like 18 months maximum. Some people, if you're very bright, you can start contributing within 6 months. So I remember when I first joined my first job, the senior developers told me, we don't expect you to contribute anything. Basically, you can't develop anything for 18 months. We'll train you. You just stay here and watch what's happening. That's what they normally call shadowing, basically, where you just sit next to a developer and you watch what he's doing, making notes, trying to understand, taking part of the meetings, like daily stand-up meetings. They normally follow different software development methodology. So it depends what names they give those meetings. And then later, if you're lucky, or maybe the guy you're developing with likes you, they will allow you to do pair programming, where he programs for half an hour and he allows you to program, and then he guides you while he's programming, which is not easy for everyone, basically. So that is one headache that I had when I started. Even with first class degree, I couldn't get a job easily. I was one of the brightest students in my university. I've broken records at university that for more than 20 years, got almost 100% of every subject, and it still didn't help when you graduate, because you need to have network. Basically, you need to have connections to the industry, software development industry, and that is when I started looking. I even tried to work people for free, basically, like volunteering, saying that, and that doesn't work in the UK because not every registered company can take it. There's a law about, I don't know, slavery, what they call it. There's something that would allow you to do. There's also insurance issues. A lot of companies said that you're not insured volunteer. So it didn't work for me, but eventually I got one guy who got me into there, and then once you're in, they need you. You don't need them, basically. Once you get the experience that you want. So it's the same thing. So for that not to happen, what I did was we have a company called Lul Solution, which develops software. We've developed a lot of companies for software. There's a lot of, currently what we're developing is a point of sale system. And this actually system is our own system. And it's mainly designed for restaurants, and it runs on these devices, basically that payment devices. We partnered with Barclays because we demoed our system to them and they were really impressed. And the funny thing is, this system majority of it was developed by the graduates who graduated from this course, are still developing right now. We're launching, I think this week, we're going to start it with Safari restaurant, and then it's very modern system, point of sale system. And the way it works is it starts from QR codes. You go into a restaurant and then taking your phone out and opening the camera and scanning a QR code. And then you get the menu that normally would have been on paper. So you don't need any paper menu anymore. You can just select what you want from here. Normally I could show you in here, but like I don't want to go deep into it. I'll just tell you what it does. So that system is being developed by us, and one of the good things is the developers who work for us are not normal developers. They all over the world. They're some of the best developers. Some of them in Pakistan, some of them are here, some in Turkey, some in Somalia. And you might be surprised, our lead developers are from Somalia. We trained them while they were there. And this has happened to me before when I was working. The idea of I set up this software development company. And then what happened was I used to train a lot because it's very expensive to employ developers in this country. If I show you one of the websites that we go and find jobs, basically, is here. And you can see. So this is called cwjobs.co.uk. And when I train you for the first when you take 6 months course, you become React developer. So if you become, if we look for React developer here, job, React is mainly something that comes under JavaScript, basically. So
I had a question.
Yeah.
At the end of all of this, this course, what do you get out of it?
Basically, one of the things that I need to explain to you, we have so far placed about, I think, more than 10 people, juniors that start. Some of them didn't even know what HTML was 6 months ago before they got the professional job. So you would get certificates, certification based on like 3 courses: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, basically. But eventually, what you become is you become a front-end developer. And from you become a front-end developer, you specialize in an area, a library called a React, and this is the one I'm looking for right now, checking how much salary you could earn if you are a React developer. And I'll tell you how much they earn in the students who are already here, between 45. Youngest one was 18 years old. He's earning FA 45 to 75,000. There are some corner cases. I don't know, Hiba, if you've heard about her. She came to me about a year and a half ago or something like that. So Hiba is this girl, okay? And hello, Hiba. Congratulations on your job. Mashallah. I can see she gave us a party here. First try 2021. Very good for the celebration. Okay, mashallah. The other guys are here as well. This is our Edmonton branch. Mashallah. Yeah. Yeah. I think when you get your job, you gotta have enough money. So basically, Hiba came to me. She was a school teacher, and she said, I had enough of this job. I'd worked too many hours, and I don't get all that. She was complaining too much about her job, and the salary wasn't very good. Honestly, I asked her how much she was earning. She said 32,000 at the time. And she was like with many years of experience, basically, she had there. And then after that, she came to me and she said, I want to basically work from home. I'm tired of just like going to work. I need to be able to do from here. I need to work from home, basically, and I need to become a software engineer. I said, okay, do you have the time? I know with teachers it's not easy. She said, I'm going to concentrate. Like there was a school vacation for like 2 months or something like that. So summer vacation that was coming. And she said, I'll try to put all my time into it. I said, no problem. And then she started the course. She finished the whole course that we designed for 6 months in three months. She was putting like into 4 hours a day or something like that. So many. Normally we designed 15 minutes a day for you to put there. And within 3 months, she finished the whole course. And then she did the work experience. For 2 months, she was developing a system that we were developing for the Somali Minister of Health, a COVID system, basically, COVID passport system. And then I said, I think, because she started contributing straight away. And I said, I think you're ready. We should apply jobs for you. And when we applied, in 1 week, she had like 7 interviews, 7 different, like 2 in a day or something like that. And the next following week, 2 companies offered her. The first company offered 45K a job and said that we will take you. But there is one reason for this. First of all, this shortage of these employees of this country. They don't have the resources to fill the positions, basically. So they actually recruit from India and Pakistan. The problem is there's a culture and language issue in here. So they don't fit into the UK teams properly. And the second thing is the advantage that younger people who grew up here have. The second thing is, especially for the girls, the government is encouraging that women to go into this industry, and the Somali girls have few advantages, basically, and because every company in this country wanted to be equal opportunity employer. Basically, there is award that the government gives for these kind of companies. And when they're bidding for projects and all that kind of stuff, especially if they have government projects, that is what they use, basically. We're equal. So there's ticks that to apply for that kind of certification. First, you have to tick, are you employing a minority person? Is there a woman in your team, development team? Is there a black person in there? Is there a Muslim person in there? All that kind of stuff. But if they employ one Somali girl, they tick all 3 ticks. So she's black, she's Muslim, and she's a woman. So all of those things. So that's one of the good things. And then what happened was with the other company called her a few days after that, and she said, I have an offer. And they said, how much are they paying you? And she said 45K. We'll double it. But that is a corner case. It doesn't happen every time. Okay, these guys desperately wanted the girl. and they liked her, I think, as a person, and also they wanted to have a woman in her company, basically, in their company. But that it took me nearly 8-9 years to earn 90K as a software developer. So it doesn't come. Normally you get like £6,000 pay rise every 6 months, but you don't jump through. The starting salary mainly is that 35, but if you have 1 year work experience, which we put it on her CV because we put that she was working for our Lul Solutions company. And that is one of the biggest obstacles that with the work experience company. If you put there, you have 1 year work experience, it's amazing. It can raise your salary up to 20K. So that's what we did, and now she's working, and actually she encourages even girls to come to the course, and since then I think there's about 3-4 girls that she encouraged that had jobs after her. One of them is also working in for Microsoft. There's a better opportunity for the girls than the boys. Even though there's a shortage of employees, it would be very easy for the girls. When you get the interview, they normally give you a take-home task where you have to code a project basically at home, and this is good. If you have no one to help you, it's a bad thing. If you have someone like us that will guide you, and then when you code, they would help you. Obviously, you'll be able to code it because we will teach you how to code. And when you do that, if you're not doing right, we correct you, we guide you basically, and we explain the code to you, because what they will do later is they will cross-examine you. So like, what is this? What is that? What does it do? And we'll explain to you. And that is why a lot of people are very successful. Why? Because we've already explained the code to them. They've written themselves. Whatever they don't understand, we already explained to them. So if I search for this Reactor developer job, you will become a Reactor developer. And here you can see this front-end Reactor developer basically is like from 7. So this is not very senior developer. So up to you earn up to 90K, £90,000 basically a year. And there is 2 types of jobs that normally you do in software engineering. The permanent role, which gives you normally starting from 35 to 250,000 pounds, depending on your experience. Okay, so that is one. And the other one is the contracting role. You don't have a lot of rights, basically. For example, if you don't come to work or if you get sick, you don't get paid, basically. So that is a normal contracting. But the advantage is your salary is very high. So it starts from £500 to £950 a day. So it's a daily rate. So these ones that you see here, if it's a junior, it will give you a good, very competitive rate. So here, this one is a lead, but like its advantage is, so it's 120,000 to 130,000 pounds there. You can see up to 85,000 there. Let me see if we can find any contracting that was up to 90K. This is a basic entry one, also a full stack developer. That's £700 a day. You get it. And there's a lot of these things that if you specifically search in different websites, you're going to find even better deals. But again, you have to be very good. Now, I'll tell you something. Do not waste your time if you try to come here and you only want to do coding in class, and just next week you're going to want to come back the same day. You're wasting your time. It has to be a hobby for you. At some point, because it's engineering, at some point it will become very addictive. And the reason why I'm saying is you could create something that no one has ever done, never ever created in their life. Okay, it's engineering courses. And so one of the girls that we trained with CSS. Okay, CSS is a language that makes things beautiful, like this website. So for example, this is the website for the point of sale system that we developing here. You see, so the things that make things blue and all that kind of stuff. This is another one. So she contributed a lot of these things, making things beautiful, because she's the best designer in the system. We are coders, but like sometimes you have also design. When you're designer and coder, you can come up with something amazing. Also the back office of the system that I was showing you, and the other one, the mobile apps also run here. There's a few more subsystems, and all of these things, and even this app that you're going to see in here that runs on here that you can make payments from, are developed by juniors basically. So going back to here, so you can, if you can't get Java and React specific developer, you can look for JavaScript developer, and then that is what you're going to be basically. You would be learning few languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript basically. So you can also see this is very generic field, so it's not specific to something. Within it. So you still have the same, almost same salary basically there, up to 95K front-end developer. So you can call it JavaScript developer, you can call it front-end developer, you can call React developer. Okay, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript are the three main languages that you're going to learn. Everything else like Bootstrap 4, SQL for databases, Git and GitHub, NPM, SAS, Webpack, all that kind of stuff. There's more that you're going to learn, like test frameworks that we're going to do, Cypress and everything. And we will also teach you Linux. Certification, you will get a certificate, achievement certificates. Basically, they're not recognized but what you could do is, because you have the knowledge, you can do certification yourself. Like there is Microsoft certifications, Cambridge certification. You can just sit those tests and pass and get the certificate. But I'll give you one example. If you need a plumber to fix your house, because of software development is technical thing. It's things that you have to do with your hands. Okay, you have to use your brain. So if you need a plumber, and then two people come to you, one says, I have a PhD, I just graduated from university, and one guy comes up and says, I'm a plumber, I have 20 years work experience. Which one would you give that job? The one with the 20 years work experience. I don't care how many degrees you have. I want to know if you have done this before and you can do it again. Okay, that is what the way the software development companies work, because it is coding. It's things that they don't care whether you're white, black, or anything like that. I'm going to tell you one example. When I graduated from Middlesex University, I had a job in central London for 6 months. It's a contract. It finished, and then I applied another job. And it was at the time, actually, the recession was there, 2008 time. So I couldn't find a job easily in here. And then I got one in, I've seen a job in Oxford. And there is a company called STFC. It's like NASA's version of the UK. So they are scientists basically developing rockets, and they're doing research and everything in there. And we have this team that developing systems and interfaces for the science, so that they can control these massive research that they're doing and whatever they develop. So that is what they apply. There's a junior developer job that was on there, and I applied. And because it was a recession time, there was about 40 people that applied the same role. Well, 40 of them. And when I went there, some of them, we could actually, they normally, this is 3-day interview. Government jobs are like weird sometimes. So that's like 3-day interview, and then they pay for your hotel. You have to come there. You have to do like a whole day. And first day, we had a single one-to-one interview. Second day, I had a panel interview. Third day, we have a group exercise. Fourth day, we had coding exercise. And so and every day for like 5 days, we were doing these things. And I come back to London, and then they call me back again. And every time they shortlisting. And I got to the point where I'm on the last one. And when I first got there, because there's about 40 people in the same hotel. You talk to each other, and some of them, 20 of them came from Cambridge, all of them 20, and 20 other ones come from Oxford. And there was about like a couple of Indians and me and one Chinese guy. The rest were just like native white people from this country, from basically top universities. And we got to the last 10 people, and I was there. And I was thinking, there's no chance, because these guys will give their people the job. So that's what I was thinking in my head. And then they had interviewed us again, and then we talked, and then I got to the last 5. And I said, no. So the last 5, now they have to choose one person for them, the last 5. And we had an interview for the last 5, and I thought maybe I will not get that job. And after like a couple of days, on Monday, I received a letter saying that congratulations, you got the job. And I was thinking, how did this happen? It was a big question in my head. And I went to the manager the other day, and I said to him, there were about 40 people in a recession time applying for one particular job, and I won. And honestly, I need to ask you, why, how did I get it? And he said, you were the best when it came to the technical test. You aced. And in my head, I was thinking, if this was Somalia, I would have no chance, basically. And I cried. Why? Because that's justice. And I was just given this job because of my knowledge, not who I knew or anything like that. So it's amazing. Yeah, the oldest guy that had the job with us is Umar Arrale. He's 45, and people were saying, you're 45, why are you studying this course? He was the longest with us for like 1 year and 2 months. And now he works for an insurance company called AXA as a software engineer. So this is his brother also, that one, Mahmoud. He's also working now as a Some of these guys also had jobs. That guy had an internship, full internship paid by apprenticeship, basically paid by a company in Norway. Norway took him and they training him to become artificial intelligence developer. This is the youngest one that had the job basically with us. His name is Goulet. He was 17 when he came to me, and by the time he was 18, he got a job. Now he's doing his presentation on Linux. His company allowed him to do part-time. He never went to university, but like I showed him the syllabus that they do at university. I said, look at this. Everything that I taught you is in here. And he said, yeah, exactly. This is what we learned basically. So why don't you just go to university for attendance? There's few other things like you have to learn like academic writing and report writing and that kind of stuff, which actually we don't teach you here. We just teach you coding. There is a lot of programming language. The same way that there are so many different cars. Today I could get a BMW or Mercedes. There are different programming language. The end thing, the functionality is I want this car to get me from A to B. If I choose Python, it can allow me to develop a backend application. If I choose Java, it can allow me to do that. If I choose JavaScript, I can do that. If I do .NET or C#, basically it allows me to do that. The thing is, which one is the most popular? Nowadays, the most popular one is JavaScript. Why? Because you can develop mobile apps with it. You can develop backend applications with it called Node.js. Okay, you can develop front applications with it. You can develop desktop applications, the ones that you install directly on PCs, basically. You can do that. So that's why with Python, you can't do that. You can't develop front-end application with Python. Okay, you can't develop, unless it becomes something called server-side rendering. You can't develop mobile apps with it, but it has a lot of other applications. Like you can have artificial intelligence. It's a number one in it. When you're going to have models and all that kind of stuff, basically. So what is the other thing? It's also data analysis. Python is the number one in it. And that's all backend.
Bro, I was going to ask you, what do you do? Do you cybersecurity? Because I'm new today.
No, it's software engineering.
Okay.
You're developing software, especially the front end part of a system. Front end development. Majority of the young people, 18, 19-year-olds, when they come to me, they don't want to go to university. They just want to do apprenticeship, get a job, but there's no limitation in the UK. There's a few companies like government jobs that would ask you, do you need to have a degree, maybe first class, maybe 2-1, but private companies don't care. And 90% of the jobs, software engineering jobs are with private companies. But still, at least to get a degree, if you have even one to finish it off, and you can do a specialization. So that satisfies for you. Are you university level educated? What we teach you here is even higher than the university level. So at university, they just teach you the basics of theories and some practice. But what we give you here is a deep level. But it's the reason why it's possible for us within 6 months is we specialize in one area. So when you become front-end developer and you join a company, you don't join the whole company, you just join the front-end development team. And then there's a back-end development team. There's a mobile apps development team. Even with the mobile apps, they have 2 different teams, iOS and Android teams. So each is like 5 people developing the same thing, basically. So you're going to join, and it's possible that you stay in the front-end development for 20 years and you don't touch anything else. Hiba, Abdurrahman, has a lot of the guys who graduated here, eventually what happens, they told us that the company is training them as back-end developers. So they pay for your training. The company will pay you for your training. And they train you as back-end developer. So you become a full-stack developer. Full-stack developer means you can do front-end and back-end development. I'm going to show you the syllabus, what you're going to learn in here for the next 6 months. So this is what we're going to learn to become a front-end developer. Okay, HTML allows you how to develop web applications or websites, basically. CSS, which makes web applications look beautiful. JavaScript, which is the programming language. And one thing I haven't mentioned actually, because you said there is a lot of programming language and you don't know where to start from. Which one do I learn? If you learn one programming language, for example, either Python, JavaScript, C++, C, and those things, basically, if you learn them, you know 80% of any programming language that you're going to learn next. So what's the difference? Syntax difference. The concept is the same. Every programming language has for loops. Every programming language has if-else structure. Every programming language has data structures. All of these things, the concepts exist, but the way they're implemented, the way they're written, the syntax, that's what we normally call the syntax, the nahwa, is different in different programming language. The thing that will take you the longest to understand is not the syntax, it's the concept of something that you're learning. And we're going to have a lot of different ways that we're going to simplify. So what we're going to learn is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, TypeScript, Bootstrap, SQL, Git and GitHub, and Jest. So Linux is not on here, I think. So the next thing that needs to go on here is Linux, which you're going to learn. Hello, yeah.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you don't have a degree in university and you pass this course, can you only work in the UK?
Yeah, within the UK, there's no restriction. You can get for any job, as long as you have work experience. If you do like a couple of months or 3-4 months of work experience, when you apply jobs, they'll give you a test. If you pass that test, even if there's someone who has PhD, they will pick you. They don't want